Okay, so have you ever sworn that this is it? This is the time you're going to stick to that workout routine?
This time I'm doing it.
This time, yeah, this time, and
Yeah,
then
this time.
3 weeks later, you're back on the couch. The only weights you're lifting are, bags of chips.
Exactly.
We've all been there.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there.
But what if I told you there's a way to ditch those restrictive diets,
Yeah.
break the cycle, and actually make healthy living enjoyable?
Yeah, it really is about building those sustainable, healthy habits, kind of like building a house. You need a good foundation.
Exactly. And speaking of foundations, we have an amazing expert here to guide us on our deep dive today.
Hey, everybody, so glad to be here. And yeah, I love that house analogy. It's so true because you wouldn't build a house on shaky ground, right?
Absolutely not.
Same with your health. You got to create that solid base.
Oh.
And that's what we're going to talk about today, so you can finally stop starting and stopping and just live healthy and happy.
I love that. And we've also got the amazing Cherie here to help us unpack all this awesome info. Cherie, what are you most excited to share with our listeners today?
I think so many of us have this misconception that it has to be all or nothing. Either you're training for a marathon or just drowning in kale, but it's really all about finding that sweet spot for you and, making those small changes that add up over time.
I love that no kale smoothies required.
Unless you want to.
Unless you're into that no judgment. So let's talk movement, because I think a lot of people get intimidated by the idea exercise. They picture, these crazy intense workouts. And they're just like, nope, not for me.
Yeah.
What would you say to those people?
Well, first off, ditch the idea that you have to suffer to be healthy. If you hate running, don't run. Find something that you enjoy, like dancing, swimming, hiking, walking around the block. It's all good. Movement is movement. Anything that gets that heart rate up makes you feel good. Yeah. It counts.
So finding something you genuinely enjoy is key. But what if, like me, you're more of a Netflix and chill kind of person? How do you make yourself actually get up and move?
Yeah. Start small. That's it. You don't have to, go from 0 to 60 overnight. So maybe start with 10 minutes of walking a few times a week. Put on some music, dance around your living room. The key is to make it fun and achievable so you'll stick with it. Consistency over intensity every time.
Yeah, and don't beat yourself up if you miss a day or two.
Yeah.
Things happen. Just get back on track as soon as you can. And hey, think about how good you're going to feel after you move your body. That post-workout glow is real.
And it's not just about the physical benefits, right? Exercise does wonders for your mental health as well.
Absolutely. Stress reliever boosts your mood. It can even help you sleep better.
Okay, so we've got the movement part down, but what about nutrition? I think that's where a lot of people struggle.
Yeah, the diet industry has really messed us up, making us think we got to deprive ourselves, follow all these crazy restrictive rules, but you don't have to give up all the foods you love to be healthy.
Wait, really? You're telling me I don't have to say goodbye to pizza forever?
Nope. It's all about balanced moderation. Think of it like a budget. You got your, essential expenses like your rent or your mortgage, and then you got some fun money left over for things you enjoy.
Okay, I like where this is going. So what are the essential expenses when it comes to nutrition?
Building a balanced plate. So half your plate should be colorful veggies. The more variety, the better.
Yeah, pack those in. Those veggies are packed with vitamins and minerals and fiber. And don't be afraid to get creative with how you prepare them. Roasting, sautéed, grilling, tons of ways to enjoy those veggies.
All right, so half the plate is veggies. What about the other half?
A quarter of that plate, lean protein, chicken, fish beans, lentils, tofu, whatever you enjoy protein, builds and repairs those tissues, keeps you feeling full, helps with a healthy metabolism.
Sure.
That's where you get your healthy carbs like brown rice, quinoa, oats, whole wheat bread. Those guys provide energy and fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar levels and, keeps things moving, if you know what I mean.
I think I get it, and I'm really starting to see how this balanced plate comes together. But what about those fun money foods? The treats and the indulgences we all love.
Exactly. You got to have your treats. Don't deprive yourself. That's like, leaving a protein bar in the glove compartment in the middle of summer. It's solid 1-minute gooey mess. The next you restrict yourself too much, you're just setting yourself up for a meltdown later on.
So it's okay to have a slice of pizza or a scoop of ice cream every now and then, as long as we're making those healthy choices most of the time.
Exactly. Find that balance that works for you. Deprivation just leads to cravings and overeating. So give yourself permission to enjoy those treats in moderation, and you'll be much more likely to stick with those healthy habits long term.
This is such a refreshing perspective on nutrition. It's not about labeling foods as good or bad, but finding a way to enjoy all foods in a balanced way. But before we move on, I do want to remind everyone that this is not professional advice, and we encourage you to consult with a qualified healthcare professional for personalized guidance. And hey, if you're loving this deep dive so far, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment below.
Yeah, and if you really want to support our work and get access to even more awesome content, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/and by Alfia Ballister. We've got bonus episodes, behind-the-scenes stuff, all kinds of goodies over there.
And for those of you who just want to buy us a coffee to keep us, fueled up and creating these deep dives, you can do that over at buymecoffee.com/Jamie McAllister. Every little bit helps.
All right, so we talked about movement, we talked about nutrition, but how do we make these healthy habits actually stick? I think that's the million-dollar question, People start with the best intentions, but then life gets in the way, and those good habits kind of fall by the wayside.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. You're all gung-ho for like the first week or two, and then that motivation fizzles out and you're back to square one.
I think a big mistake people make is setting unrealistic goals, trying to change everything all at once. It's overwhelming.
It's like trying to climb Mount Everest with no training or equipment. You're setting yourself up for failure.
So what's the alternative? How do we set ourselves up for success?
Start small. Instead of trying to, be a marathon runner by next week, maybe just aim to walk for 15 minutes a few times a week. Or instead of overhauling your entire diet, maybe just focus on adding, an extra serving of veggies to your meal each day.
I love that small changes add up over time. It's those gradual, sustainable shifts that you can actually stick with.
Exactly. And you're not going to be perfect. There will be days when you skip your workout or you eat something that's not exactly on your meal plan, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just get back on track the next day.
Yeah, progress, not perfection. That's the key.
Okay, so movement, nutrition, goal setting.
Mm-hmm.
What else is crucial for creating those lasting, healthy habits?
Shifting our mindset from I have to I choose to.
What do you mean by that?
Well, when we look at these healthy habits as a chore, something we're forced to do, we're less likely to enjoy them, more likely to resist them. But when we reframe that thinking and focus on the positives, how good it feels to move our bodies, how energized we feel when we nourish ourselves, it becomes less about willpower, more about self-care.
So it's about choosing those healthy habits because they make us feel good, not because we feel obligated to do them.
Exactly. It's about taking ownership of our health and well-being, making choices that support those goals.
That is a powerful shift in perspective. And speaking of shifting perspectives, let's talk about the mental game, something that often gets overlooked when it comes to, health and fitness.
The mental game is huge. If you're constantly beating yourself up for not being good enough or comparing yourself to others, it's going to be really tough to stay motivated.
Yeah, it's like running a race with a backpack full of rocks. You're weighing yourself down.
So how do we lighten that load? How do we cultivate a more positive and supportive inner dialogue?
Well, it starts with becoming aware of those thoughts.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what you're telling yourself throughout the day. Are those thoughts positive, encouraging, or are they negative, self-defeating?
And if you do notice those negative thoughts start creeping in, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought really true? Is it helpful? And try to reframe it into something more positive and empowering.
So, for example, instead of saying, I'll never be able to do this,
Yeah.
we can say, I'm learning and growing and I'm proud of myself for trying.
Exactly. And celebrate those small wins. Did you make it to the gym 3 times this week? Awesome. Did you choose the salad over the fries at lunch? High five. Give yourself credit for every step in the right direction.
Love that celebrating those small victories can make a big difference in staying motivated and building those positive habits.
Absolutely. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. We all have ups and downs. It's okay to ask for help when you need it. Surround yourself with those supportive people who believe in you and cheer you on.
Yes, having that strong support system can make all the difference. And if you are looking for a supportive community, make sure to join our Facebook group. We have an amazing group of people who are all on their health and wellness journeys, and it's a great place to connect, share tips, get inspired.
Okay, so we covered a lot here. We talked about finding enjoyable ways to move our bodies, nourish ourselves with those delicious foods, setting those realistic goals, shifting our mindset, building that support network. But there's one more piece of the puzzle that is absolutely crucial for creating a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. And that's
folks, we are going to leave you hanging right there. You'll have to tune into part 2 to find out what that final piece of the puzzle is. But trust me, it is a game changer.
Welcome back, everyone. So before the break, we left you hanging with a little bit of a cliffhanger. We talked about movement and nutrition and mindset, all that good stuff. But what is that final puzzle piece to make those healthy habits truly stick? Terry, you want to fill us in?
I'd love to. It's all about making it a lifestyle, not just a temporary fix. It's like,
Why?
Going on a road trip, you wouldn't just pack for the first hour, right? You got to think long-term, comfy seats, good snacks.
All on comfy seats and snacks for a healthy lifestyle. I'm listening.
Okay, so think of it this way. If you're constantly like white-knuckling it,
Yeah.
forcing yourself to do stuff you hate, you're going to burn out fast.
Yeah.
Sustainability is about finding ways to integrate healthy choices into your everyday life so it just becomes second nature.
Totally. It's like instead of dreading that gym session, you find an activity you actually enjoy. Maybe it's a dance class with your friends or hiking a new trail or even just taking your dog for a longer walk.
Oh, so it's not just about the workout itself. It's about finding ways to weave movement into your daily routine.
Yeah, exactly. Like park a little further away from the store entrance and, enjoy that walk. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Little things like that, they add up.
And what about on the nutrition side? Any tips for making healthy eating a part of your everyday life, not just a special occasion thing?
Meal prepping can be a lifesaver. It's like setting your future self up for success. So spend a couple hours on the weekend, chop some veggies, cook some grains, portion out some snacks, and you'll be way less likely to reach for that takeout menu when you're tired and hungry.
Such a good tip. It doesn't have to be super complicated, right?
Not at all. Keep it simple. Roast a big pan of veggies, cook up a batch of quinoa or brown rice, grill some chicken or fish. Then you can just mix and match throughout the week, different bowls and salads.
Okay, so we're making those healthy choices convenient and accessible. What else can we do to make this whole healthy living thing more livable?
I think it's really important to be mindful of your environment. Surround yourself with things that support your goals. So stock your fridge with healthy foods, keep a water bottle on your desk, maybe even put up a motivational quote or two on your mirror.
So it's like creating a space that encourages those healthy choices.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to get your friends and family involved, let them know about your goals, ask for their support, maybe find a workout buddy or a healthy cooking partner.
Yes, accountability is key.
Totally. And remember, it's not about being perfect. Life happens, there will be times when you slip up or fall off track, but the important thing is to not beat yourself up about it. You acknowledge it, you learn from it, and you get back on track as soon as you can.
Progress, not perfection.
You got it.
All right, so let's recap those key takeaways for creating a sustainable, healthy lifestyle.
Find ways to integrate that movement and healthy eating into your daily routine.
Make it convenient and enjoyable.
Don't be afraid to ask for support.
And most importantly, be kind to yourself.
Now, before we move on, I just want to remind everyone that this is not professional advice, and we encourage you to consult with a qualified healthcare professional for personalized guidance.
And hey, if you're digging this episode, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment below. We love hearing from you guys.
And for those of you who are feeling extra generous and want to support our work, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/MAllister for exclusive bonus content.
Or you can buy us a coffee over at buymecoffee.com, Jamie McAllister. Every little bit helps us keep these deep dives coming.
Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So we've been focusing a lot on the physical aspects of health, moving our bodies, nourishing ourselves with those healthy foods. But what about the mental and emotional side of things that's just as important, right?
Oh, absolutely. Our mental and emotional well-being plays a huge role in our overall health and happiness.
Yeah, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're not taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally, it's going to be hard to take care of yourself physically.
So how do we fill our cups, so to speak? What are some practices that can help us cultivate a sense of peace and joy and just overall well-being?
I mean, there's so many great tools and techniques out there, and what works best is really going to vary from person to person. But I think one of the most powerful things we can do is just slow down and be present in the moment.
That's easier said than done in today's fast-paced world.
It definitely takes practice, but it's so worth it. Even just a few minutes of dedicated mindfulness each day can make a huge difference.
So what are some ways we can practice mindfulness?
Meditation's a great one. There's tons of guided meditations available online or through apps like Calm and Headspace.
And for those of us who are new to meditation, it can be a little intimidating at first.
Oh, totally. But don't overthink it. You don't have to be a Zen master to reap the benefits. Just find a comfortable spot, close your eyes, and focus on your breath.
Okay, so focus on the breath. And what if our mind starts to wander, which I'm sure it will?
Totally normal. Don't judge yourself. Just gently guide your attention back to your breath. It's like training a puppy. It takes patience and repetition.
I love that analogy. Okay, so meditation's one way to practice mindfulness. What are some other techniques we can try?
Yoga is fantastic for connecting with your body and your breath. Plus, it's a great way to build strength and flexibility.
And for those of us who aren't exactly yogis, are there modifications for beginners?
Absolutely. There's so many different styles of yoga, from like gentle restorative classes to more vigorous like vinyasa flows. So find a class that suits your level. Don't be afraid to ask the instructor for modifications.
Okay, so meditation, yoga, any other mindfulness practices we can incorporate into our daily lives.
Spending time in nature is a fantastic way to kind of ground yourself and connect with something bigger than yourself.
I love that whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the woods, or even just sitting on your porch listening to the birds, nature has a way of calming the mind and lifting the spirit.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the power of simple things like journaling, listening to calming music, or just spending time with loved ones.
So it's about finding those activities that nourish your soul and make you feel good.
Exactly. And remember, self-care is not selfish. It's essential for our overall well-being.
Okay, so we've talked about the importance of mindfulness and self-care, but what about those times when life throws us a curveball and we're feeling stressed or anxious or overwhelmed?
I mean, those are the times when it's especially important to have healthy coping mechanisms in place.
So what are some effective ways to manage stress?
Exercise is a great one. It releases endorphins, which have mood-boosting effects.
So that runner's high is a real thing.
Oh, yeah. And it doesn't have to be a hardcore workout. Even a brisk walk can help clear your head and reduce those stress levels.
Okay, so exercise is a great stress reliever. What else can we do?
Deep breathing exercises can be super helpful because when we're stressed, our breath tends to get shallow and rapid. But by consciously slowing down our breath, we can actually signal to our body that it's time to chill out.
Are there any specific breathing techniques that you recommend?
Yeah, there's one simple technique called box breathing. So you inhale for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and then hold your breath again for a count of 4. And you just repeat that cycle for a few minutes, and you should notice a pretty significant shift in your energy and your mood.
Box breathing.
Oh.
I'm going to try that one.
Yeah.
What else?
Spending time with loved ones is another great way to de-stress and boost your mood. Social connection is so important for our mental and emotional well-being.
Whether it's grabbing coffee with a friend or calling a family member or cuddling with your pet, those connections can really make a difference.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the power of laughter. Watch a funny movie, listen to a comedy podcast, or just spend time with people who make you laugh.
Laughter is the best medicine. Okay, so exercise, deep breathing, social connection, laughter. Any other stress-busting tips?
I'm a big fan of essential oils. Certain scents like lavender and chamomile have calming properties. You can add a few drops to a diffuser or even just, put a drop or two on your wrist and inhale deeply.
Oh, that's a great idea. And what about things like massage or acupuncture? Can those be helpful for stress management?
Absolutely. Those types of therapies can help to release muscle tension, improve circulation, and just promote overall relaxation.
Okay, so we've got a whole arsenal of stress-busting tools at our disposal. But what about those times when stress starts to feel a little bit more serious, like it's impacting our daily life or our mental health? What should we do then?
Don't be afraid to reach out for professional help. A therapist or counselor can provide you with personalized support and guidance.
Yes, there's no shame in seeking help. Mental health is just as important as physical health.
And remember, you're not alone. Mental health challenges are more common than you think.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this segment. We talked about the importance of mindfulness and self-care and stress management and seeking professional help when needed. But before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, I just want to remind everyone, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into building that sustainable, healthy lifestyle.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have from moving our bodies in ways that we enjoy to nourishing ourselves with delicious foods.
Yeah, the mental game, stress management.
Even the importance of sleep.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle I want to touch on before we wrap things up.
Ooh, another puzzle piece. I'm on the edge of my seat here.
And this one might be the most important of all.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on us.
It's all about finding that click moment, that sweet spot where healthy living stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like just a natural part of your life.
Ah, the click. Like when you finally find that perfect pair of jeans that just fits right.
Or like when you discover a new song and you just have to listen to it on repeat.
Exactly. It's that feeling of like, this is it. This works for me. But how do we get there? How do we make healthy living click for us?
Well, I think it starts with letting go of that idea that there's a one-size-fits-all approach.
So true. What works for one person might not work for another. We're all unique individuals with different needs and preferences.
So it's about finding what works for you and your lifestyle.
You got to experiment with different types of exercise, different foods, different mindfulness practices, see what feels good, what you enjoy, what you can actually stick with.
So it's about being the CEO of your own health.
Absolutely. You're
Yeah.
in charge. You get to make those decisions.
And it's not about being perfect. It's about progress.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up if you slip up or you have a day where you're just not feeling it. We all have those days.
It's about getting back on track and keep moving forward.
So how do we know when we found that click? What does it feel like?
For me, it's when those healthy choices stop feeling like a sacrifice and they start feeling like self-care.
Like when you start craving those healthy foods and you actually look forward to moving your body.
When those healthy habits just become so ingrained in your routine that you don't even have to think about them anymore.
Yeah, it's like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. You just do it.
And I think when you find that click, that's when you really unlock the power of a sustainable, healthy lifestyle.
It's not about willpower or deprivation. It's about finding a way of living that feels good, both physically and mentally.
Well, folks, we have covered a lot of ground today, but before we wrap things up, just that friendly reminder, this is not professional advice, and we always encourage you to consult with a qualified healthcare professional for personalized guidance.
And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment down below. We love hearing from you guys.
And if you want to support our work and get access to even more awesome content, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/SteepTalister.
Or if you just want to buy us a coffee, you can do that over at buymecoffee.com/Jamie McAllister.
Every little bit helps to keep these deep dives coming.
All right, folks, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us on this journey to building a sustainable, healthy lifestyle.
Remember, it's not about being perfect.
Find what works for you, enjoy the process, and celebrate those wins.
And most importantly, be kind to yourself. You deserve it.
Cheers to a healthier and happier you.
Cheers!